Hey, SouthRidge family, it's Pastor Brent here. I hope you're enjoying your self-isolation, and I thought it would be good to bring you some updates. It's Tuesday, March the 17th, and things continually change so rapidly with COVID-19. And so a couple of things that we want to bring your attention, also a couple of things we just want to thank you for. We want to thank you for last Sunday. So many of you joined us during the online service. We think somewhere between 500 and 550 people actually watched us online between 9 and 10, and a number of people joined and watched later after the service was over, but watched it anyways. And so thank you. Thank you for joining us in that. And it was great to see so many people post pictures of watching it online at home and using the hashtag #WeAreSouthRidge. It was fun to see how you guys were doing it in your pajamas, fun to see how you guys were serving cookies. Although I did see a picture of one of our congregants who took the message a little too literally and decided to model a little bit of what the disciples were doing in falling asleep while watching our service. With these new changes that we're facing, there are a number of developments that we've made in terms of what we're doing. Last time I talked to you, we had encouraged you to continue to meet as small groups to get together and meet together. We're actually changing that, and we're asking you not to meet together now. Although the government hasn't restricted group sizes to 10 yet, we believe they probably will over the next few days. And so we're just being proactive. And so we're asking our community groups, our small groups that would meet during the week, not to meet physically over the next 2 weeks. We're also taking that message and applying it to ourselves as the staff at the church. Although our offices will remain open, a number of our staff will be working from home or at other locations to keep the number of staff in our office to a minimum. And next Sunday, we're still going to put a service online. We're still going to do it at 10, so you can join us live, but we're going to do that with 10 people here on site to kind of keep and be able to do that and honor what the government is asking us to do in terms of self-isolating each other. So thank you for doing that. We also are going to add next week a family component. John, our children's director, is looking at doing a video that we will post on our website that as families with kids in preschool or elementary, you'll be able to click on that and get a message from John that will mirror off a little bit of what they would normally do on a Sunday anyways. And there will be some activities that will also be available for kids to participate in that. So it can be a real family experience that you can do on Sunday. I want to just take a moment and just remind you that over the last few months, we have really been focusing on our discipleship rhythms and how we follow Jesus every day, doing the different things that Jesus calls us to do. And even though we face uncertain times right now and times that are changing our daily rhythms of how we operate, I still think there's some value in focusing ourselves on the rhythms that God has called us to. And even though we can't celebrate big as a church physically in one place, we can celebrate big by coming together online. We can celebrate big by posting pictures about what we're doing as a church. And we definitely can't come together in a community with a few. And even though we're being asked to physically isolate ourselves, that does not mean we socially isolate ourselves. And so please take time to connect with each other via phone or on text or on some group chats, and just stay connected during this time when we can't physically be connected. And for following Jesus daily, what a great time to institute more Bible reading or just getting into the Bible. And so I would encourage you, especially those of you who have families, to spend some time in God's Word each day with your kids. And if you need something to read, I encourage you to go to our website, click Next Steps. It'll take you to our Disciple Rhythm page, and you can find some reading plans that you can use for your family. I would also remind you that we are called to serve one another. And it's during this time that we really need to focus on sacrifice, not selfishness. And God will give you opportunities to share something with your neighbor or with a friend. And I just want to take a moment to thank everyone who gave online this past week. And thank you for coming and dropping off checks. Your generosity allows us to continue to function as a church, and there are many needs that we need to meet, especially during this crisis time. So I encourage you to continue to be generous by going online and giving, or coming by the church and giving your offering. And lastly, we are called to engage in mission together. And so I'm calling you to engage in mission with us. And I'm going to steal something from a sister church They have what they call in a challenge, phone to people, P2P. And so I'm stealing that challenge and offering it to us as a church. Help us engage together to care for each other. Every day, phone two people, check up on them, see how they're doing, make sure they're doing okay. And then the next day, do it with two other people and find out how they're doing. So P2P, take up the challenge, phone two people every day. Lastly, this is ever changing. And so what we're doing here at SouthRidge is we're basically looking at 2-week chunks. And every 2 weeks, we're making decisions. And so we've made decisions that will take us to the end of March. And then next week, we will look at the decisions that we will have to make for the first 2 weeks of April. And so we'll come back to you in next week and give you an update on what the following 2 weeks look like. But for now, thank you for what you're doing. Continue to press on and continue to rely on Jesus to meet your needs. And that's it for now, church. We'll talk to you again.